Okay, so this project is going to involve drawing a landscape and filling it with patterns like this, but we're going to add a little feature to it, which I think is an etching or an embossing. So I gave this handout to the students. It's got all these patterns. They were to practice putting those patterns in an empty grid like this, and then they're going to use these patterns to do their landscape. So the next part of the process is to draw in their sketchbook or their sketch folder a landscape that's an abstract landscape. If you notice, you can see I drew this in pencil first, and now then I taped it to this board, which now I'm going to have to retape it because it's moved. And then when you draw this with a pen, you draw very hard and go over your lines, and notice how they're overlapping. So right here in the front is a cypress tree, and then there's a variety of hills, and they go right through the cypress tree, and then the mountain range behind it also goes through each other, and each one of these is going to have a different pattern in them. You can't see it, but let's see if I can cover this up. You can just barely see where these lines are. It's kind of like the old detective show where they go into an apartment and they need to find out where the criminal went, so they find the nearest sketch pad like this. 4 4 5 3 9 8 6. Criminal takes the thing away, and the first thing the detective does when he goes inside is he finds the notepad, and then using the side of his pencil finds out where the phone number is. I don't remember whose phone number is. I think that's Monica and Dave's phone number, so please don't call that phone number, because they're former relatives of mine. We're going to do the same thing. You'll notice that there's a lot of marks on this. This is scrap mat board. But the deal is we're going to use pastels. And when we do the pastels right over the top of it, they're going to cover up just the surface. And then, because oil pastels are so fun to play with, blending and so forth, you can start to see, if I can zoom in, I guess I can't zoom in, you can start to see the pattern of that was forced onto the paper in the same way that the cheesy detective did it in the detective show or cheesy movie. So that's the process we're doing, and we will see how it turns out. I've never done it this specific way with pastels, so it's going to be very interesting to see what we end up with. You'll also notice that the board that we're doing it on is larger than the paper, and I did this on purpose so that we can either trim or do a mat directly to this board here as our final. And so a lot of this stuff like this here and some of these other marks on here aren't going to be so significant because we're going to cover them up with the pastel. I will show a video of when we're finished with it, and you can compare them to some of the other projects I've seen other teachers do.